कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन
यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरा वनचारी
यमुनतीरा वनचारी
यमुनतीरा वनचारी
यमुनतीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंतकोटि वैष्णव की ॐ अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनं शलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथामृतं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शुश्रूषोषद्दधानस्य वासुदेवकथारुचिः स्यान्महत्सेवया विप्रा पुण्यतीर्थनिषेवना। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तना हृदयन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विध्नोति सुहृत्सतां। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। तदा रजस्तमो भावा कामलोभायश्च ये चेतयेतैरनाविद्धं स्थितं सत्त्वे प्रसीदति। एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते। विद्यते हृदयाग्रन्थिश्छिद्यन्ते सर्वसंशयः क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्टयेवात्मनीश्वरे। So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3, Text 30 and 31. So we will read the text first, then we'll go ahead. Please repeat after me. Etat Rupam Bhagavataha Hi Arupasya Chitatmanaha Maya Gunai Virachitam Mahadadivihi Atmani Etadrupam Bhagavato hi Arupasya Chidatmanaha Maya Gunairvirachitam Mahadadivir Atmani Etadrupam Bhagavato hi Arupasya Chidatmanaha Maya Gunairvirachitam Mahadadivir Atmani Etadrupam Bhagavato hi Arupasya Chidatmanaha Maya Gunairvirachitam
Maya Gunairvirachitam Mahadadivir Atmani Etadrupam Bhagavato hi Arupasya Chidatmanaha Maya Gunairvirachitam Mahadadivir Atmani.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The conception of the Virat, universal form of the Lord, as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form. I forgot to read text. So please repeat again. Ether. All these. Rupam. Forms. Bhagavataha. Of the Lord. He. Certainly. Arupasya. Of one who has no material form. Chidatmanaha. Of the transcendence. Maya. Material world.
Material energy.
Gunai. By the qualities. Virachitam. Manufactured. Mahadadibihi. With the ingredients of matter. Atmani. In the self. I'll repeat again translation. The conception of the Virat, universal form of the Lord, as appearing in the material world, is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form. Purport. The conception of the Lord, known as the Vishwarupa or the Virat Rupa, is particularly not mentioned along with the various incarnations of the Lord, because all the incarnations of the Lord mentioned above are transcendental, and there is not a tinge of materialism in their bodies. There is no difference between the body and self as there is in the conditioned soul. The Virat Rupa is conceived for those who are just neophyte worshippers. For them, the material Virat Rupa is presented, and it will be explained in the second canto. In the Virat Rupa, the material manifestations of different planets have been conceived as his legs, hands, etc. Actually, all such descriptions are for the neophytes. The neophytes cannot conceive of anything beyond matter. The material conception of the Lord is not counted in the list of his factual forms. As Paramatma or Super Soul, the Lord is within each and every material form, and even within the atoms, but the outward material form is but an imagination, both for the Lord and for the living being. The present forms of the conditioned souls are not also factual. The conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord as Virat is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living beings are living spirits and have original spiritual bodies. So when I first read this, I actually got confused more than understood. And I was hearing lecture. So there, after it was said, understanding Virat Rupa is actually difficult, even though it is said it's for neophytes, but it's actually difficult for get an idea of it actually. So we'll try to understand what it is. understanding. Whatever I understood from the lectures, I will share. So we can discuss at the end if we have time. So the third chapter is the answer to one of the questions of the sages, right, of Naimisharanya. So Sutta Goswami is explaining the different forms of the Lord, which are Leela Avataras as well as Purusha Avataras. In fact, he starts the chapter with Purusha Avataras, who actually create the material world. And then he moves on to the Leela Avataras and Satya Avataras, few of them. So he describes. Then now Sutta Goswami is telling kind of a contrast in the sense. So far he has explained spiritual forms, right, and which are eternal in that sense. But now he is talking about universal form, so which is basically temporary, and he is giving a caution. Yes, there is universal form, but universal form is not permanent, so it's temporary. We have to see soul beyond. So we will understand that in the next verse also. In the continuation verses also, it is similar to focusing on the spirit rather than the external feature, right? So, all the other forms that so far has been described, like Matsya, Varaha, all those forms are spiritual in the sense there is no difference between the body and the spirit. Actually, if we think about it, it's actually very profound concept that Bhagavad Gita brings about, that whenever we see we are moving, we are doing so many activities, we only see the external body doing all these activities. But Bhagavad Gita explains, even though external body is acting, but actually external body is a kind of a dead matter, right? So there is a subtle body inside, again that's also material, and within the subtle body there is an actual spirit soul who has the actual form. The spirit soul has the form actually. So that is the difficult part. Like material form, right, hands, legs and all, right? So spiritual body has also a form, but it's very minute. Very minute. We cannot see now with our material senses right now. So that form is actually in a way generating all other forms. Actually, it is the spirit soul which has the form, right? So, and we are seeing the material world. So there are distinction has to be made, like spirit and the matter, and even in the matter, gross body and subtle body, right? So those distinctions will come in the next verses actually. But for Krishna, when he appears as Krishna, or forms that has been mentioned so far, the body and the spirit, they are not different. So that is the only for conditions. So like us, the body and spirit are different, right? But for Krishna, it is not so. So that's why we should not make a mistake considering Krishna as an ordinary person, even though he has a form which we can see from the pictures, and right, and also in the form of a deity. So that form is not different from the actual person, spirit soul. So we have to be careful there. And yeah, like we have the external form. So when Krishna manifests the universe using his three plenary portions, Vishnus, right? Three different kinds of Vishnus. When he creates this universe, so the universe is actually external energy of the body, right? And he enters into the universe also as Paramatma. At every atom he is present, right? But the matter itself, if you see, like the body is the external covering, right? of the spirit soul right now for me. So similarly, this material energy is also, in that sense, is an external covering. Who is the spirit soul of that external energy? Krishna. Right? So that is the first conception of universal form. So the universe itself is the body of the Lord. Right? But as matter is not permanent, so the body changes. Right? So the universe also keeps on changing. In fact, that is one of the characteristics of the matter. Right? Matter never stays alone. Like, for example, this stool or a chair. Right? So we can say, yes, this is chair, but who knows after 100 years what it is, or before 100 years what it was. We don't know. Means right now it is in the form of a chair. So that is why matter is called temporary, because it keeps on changing the forms. Maybe it was coming from the earth or from the wood, but wood was again grown from the earth. Right? So it's just a transformation of the material energy into another. So in that sense, even though this stool or the chair appears to be real right now, it's temporary, because its forms are changing. Right? So that is why the external energy of the Lord, it's changing. Right? So because one of the word Prabhupada uses here is Virat Rupa is imaginary. Right? So that is really confusing actually. And why it is more confusing is because obviously in this material world where faithlessness and no scriptural following, there is more people unfortunately following Shunyavadi and Mayavadi philosophies. Right? Basically, if you see, most of the people, actually devotees are very, very rare. Very rare actually. People who follow theism, true theism is very rare. In the name of theism, they follow mostly atheism actually. So, imaginary means the Mayavadis will jump on this actually. For them, this is like a food for them. So, they will say, yes, this is what we have been saying all the time. We are right. Okay. So, Jagan Mithya, what is it? That is popular saying.
Brahma Satyam Jagan.
Yeah, Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Means for them, matter is imaginary, body is imaginary. So they don't want any kind of form to do with spirit. So they want to remove the form from the spirit. But Prabhupada is, that is why we have to know from the full context actually. So if you read just from this words, probably we might have different thoughts. But Prabhupada, if you see his personality, he is never he never even promotes impersonalism or Mayavada philosophy or any kind of that. He is a pure devotee, right? So what he meant, based on what I heard, imaginary means considering the form of the Lord there are two understandings. One is considering the matter as permanent is imaginary. Also considering Lord has a material form is also imaginary. Because Lord really has a spiritual form. He never has a material form. But this material world is an external energy of the Lord. So in that sense, it has emanated from the Lord. Right? So that is why it's in a way part of the Lord. And for neophytes in the sense here, who doesn't have faith in the process of bhakti, right? And who are totally absorbed in the matter. Like, in fact, most of the people are like that. In the sense, even great scientists, right? They are okay with the matter. In fact, for them, ecology, systems, and they are actually very much intrigued, and they want to really study the matter to the extent, to the levels of the universe, right? As well as to the shortest levels of the atoms. Even they actually, now when I was studying, I think electrons, neutrons, protons and all those stuff, but now They have divided all those also, subatomic particles, and they are going to much even minute particles actually. So they want to study. They are excited about it. So they are studying matter in that sense, right? So they are studying about the Virat Rupa of the Lord in that sense, right? So for them, so what is the way to tell there is beyond this matter something greater, right? So universal form is the beginning form. So when we see the grandeur of the universe, so we'll think, wow, what a creation, what a thing, right? So basically, even if you see even if one is not a scientist, some may be nature lovers, right? When they see beautiful scenery, now fall is coming. So in fact, some of the places it's so beautiful actually, it's so captivating. So we can always appreciate the nature, but some people can't go beyond that step, right? So in that case, even if you are loving the nature, if you meditate on the nature, or material energy of the Lord, or universal form of the Lord, eventually you will get purification and you will be able to get a sense who is behind that universal form, true person, right? So that is the idea. In fact, that idea is told in the second canto of the Bhagavatam, beginning of the second canto of the Bhagavatam. Detailed description of the universal form is there. In fact, Sukadeva Goswami, while telling about the, he just gives a brief of meditating on the universal form. But then Parikshit Maharaj asks, how one can get purified? What is the process? What is to be focused on the Lord? And how, by focusing on the universal form of the Lord, how we get purification? Then he goes on to describe very detailedly actually what are the different parts of the body, like Prabhupada is explaining here, right, in this text. The material manifestation of different planets have been conceived as his legs, hands, etc. Right? So there are many descriptions. One of the description I remember is the lower planetary systems are considered as the legs of the universal form, and the middle planetary systems are the middle portion of the body. Then the upper portion of the body of the Lord is considered as the upper planetary systems. In fact, head is, I think, Satyaloka or something like that. So the Satyaloka is the topmost planet, right? So basically the universe itself, all the planetary systems, all the demigods, in fact demigods are, I think, they are different parts of the hands, I think, they are parts of the, different demigods are different parts of the hands. And even the modes of nature, everything related to matter, and it's governing, because demigods will be the one who govern the matter, right? And the people who are living, everything are part of the universal form. So that's why you can consider. In fact, it goes on to say the trees are like the hairs of the body, right? And sun and moon are like the eyes of the Lord, and the sky is like the portion here. There is a eye is, and there is a ball, right? Like a space here, this space, right? The space is the space, right? So like that, there are so much detail actually. Sukadeva Goswami gives, and he says yes, we have to meditate on one of them, or entire body, or parts of the body, like that. And at the end of the beginning of the next chapter, second chapter of second canto, he gives an example also. That is, he says that when Brahma got created, he doesn't know what to do. So then Krishna advises him, meditate on universal form. So he meditates on the universal form. So after meditating on the universal form, like Sukadeva Goswami was explaining, when we meditate on the universal form, we get purification and we get understanding, and we can go ahead with our life. So Brahma, by focusing, meditating on the universal form, he gets all his knowledge and he starts the creation. Until then, there was no creation. right? So in that sense, so now so far we have understood that the entire universe itself is the body of the Lord, and Lord is the spirit, and the matter is the entire external energy, including all the planet systems and everything. Now there is this little different concept here. Right? The concept is like right now our temple is getting constructed, right? And I'm sure by now blueprints are ready. I hope you know what is a blueprint means. In fact, when I was young, when my home was constructed in India, I actually saw that it's actually blue color. The big paper, it's a blue paper, and on which the dark lines are there. What is the foundation? What is the first floor? How many rooms, bedrooms? All the plan basically, right? A qualified person makes the blueprint, and the construction people look at the blueprint, right? And they generate the actual thing, right? So, in that sense, blueprint is not different from the construction. The real thing is the actual building, right? Actual building is the actual matter, realized form. But where did it come from? From the blueprint. If the blueprint is not there, so this would not have been there, right? So even if some people may not have a blueprint in a sense, because we need blueprint to approval from the city and all those things, right? Some people just build a small hut. Even for them, in their mind, they have some kind of plan. Okay, I want to build this kind of house, and they will build it. So there is a plan or a blueprint, and the real thing. So Brahma actually meditates on the universal form, which is like a blueprint, because he doesn't know where are the three planets goes, where are the lower planetary goes, where are the upper planetary systems goes, where the demigods are, where are the... He doesn't know basically what is what. So Krishna says, meditate on universal form, you will know everything. So universal form is like a plan, right, before the actual thing, right? So that is it's one more concept how we understand the universal form, right? So then Brahma meditates on the universal form. Then by the end of his meditation, he gets everything get ready. Like, okay, now I know where are the three planets goes, where are the people live, where are the demigods live. He creates a universe, and things are set exactly like the plan. So in that sense, the universe and the plan, they are not different, because this is the actual thing, and that is the like a plan, right? So that's also universal form, right? So, but both are temporary, because Brahma wanted to create the material universe, so he creates he searches, okay, this is universal form, like this you create the actual universe. But all the universe itself, ingredients and all provided by Krishna only, right? So I hope I don't know if I am making more confusion.
I have 2 questions on it. I'll wait for the end of the class.
Okay. So yeah. So that's about this verse. Let us quickly read the next verse also. So this gives more light on don't get caught in this confusion. Basically, it's that's what this verse says. Translation: beyond the gross conception of the form is another subtle conception of the form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being.
Are you reading 32?
Sorry. 32? Oh, 31, sorry. Clouds and dust are carried by the air, but less intelligent persons say that the sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conception on the spirit side. So, immediately after explaining the universal form, it's a caution that universal form is not Krishna. Okay, it's a matter, but beyond that there is a spirit. Okay, so it is further confirmed here in purport that with our material eyes and senses we cannot see the Lord, who is all spirit. See, this is the spirit form. We cannot see, right? And we cannot even detect the spiritual spark which exists within the material body of the living entity. We look to the outward covering of the body or subtle mind of the living being, but we cannot see the spiritual spark within the body. So we have to accept the living being's presence by the presence of his gross body. Similarly, those who want to see the Lord with their present material eyes or with the material senses are advised to meditate on the gigantic external feature called the Vrndavana. For instance, when a particular gentleman goes in his car, which can be seen very easily, we identify the car with the man within the car. When the president goes out in his particular car, we say, there is president. For the time being, we identify the car with the president. Similarly, less intelligent men who want to see God immediately without necessary qualification are shown first a gigantic material cosmos as the form of the Lord. Although the Lord is within and without, the clouds in the sky and the blue of the sky are better appreciated in this connection. Although the bluish tint of the sky and the sky itself are different, we conceive the color of the sky as blue, but that is a general conception of for a layman only. So it's a nice analogy here, two analogies actually. Prabhupada, one analogy is the translation itself, like the clouds and the dust. Clouds, when they cover the sky, we say the sky is cloudy, but actually sky is not cloudy. It's just that clouds are there, that's why we are saying yes. But sky is sky, right? Similarly, when the air can never get polluted because of some dust particles, we say that air is polluted or it's a dusty air. But air is air. Because of the dust, we see it's a dusty air, right? But air is air, pure air, right? So just because of the dust, we should not identify that there is no air, right? So similarly, by seeing the external feature, we should not say that there is no spirit behind it, right? Similarly, Prabhupada gives another example here. The sky appears blue color, right? But actually, sky is not blue color. Yeah. You know why sky is blue color? It is to do with the theory of light actually. Because of the dust again. There is so much dust and particles in the air, so that I forgot the property and all. So the light get dispersion or something happens. So it appears that the sky is blue, but actually sky is not blue. It's kind of a dark color blue, or no color actually. So right. So but when we say sky is blue, but that means something is blocking us, and we are seeing sky is blue, but actually sky is not blue. In that sense, when we see Virat Rupa, or even when we see the body, this is actually in a sense blocking the spirit. So we say, oh, and Prabhupada gives the example of the car, right? Mm-hmm. So when a Rolls Royce car goes, usually presidents will have a Rolls Royce car. So when it goes, we say, oh, that's a president is going. But actually car is going, president is inside. Right? So similarly, the idea of universal form is the matter represents the external feature of the Lord, and the Lord is the spirit soul, right? Supreme spirit inside it. So, yeah, so that is what if we have something to discuss, we can discuss. I hope I did not confuse you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. I was thoroughly confused as you were sharing. Already I have read couple times, heard, but it was getting confused. After reading this purport, it's even more confusing.
Yeah.
And after that, Lingaraj Prabhu asked me to speak. Then I said, I don't know how can I speak on these verses. Thank you so much for taking these verses. The way you were explaining the connection between, how the imaginary part, that was the main confusion for me. It's temporary but not imaginary. The way you have explained it, our understanding or our thinking that the Lord has that material form is imaginary. So that was clear.
But the form itself is real, but it's temporary.
Temporary, right. Similar to the material world.
Yeah. So considering the temporary to be real also is imaginary. or considering Lord has a temporary form is also imaginary. That is the imagination part.
Yeah. So when you mentioned about meditating on the universal form, and then we can actually gradually go to that understanding. So when you say we are seeing this material universe around, or like my own form, it's also part of that universal form.
In a sense,
I'm a little confused there. I don't know, maybe that's for neophytes, not for devotees who are practicing. We don't have to go to that route. But just trying to understand, just for my intellect on that point. So just by meditating on my own form or the nature or anything, does that what it means?
Yeah, in fact that is a very question Parikshit Maharaj asks, saying that what is that we have to focus on, what is that we have to meditate on when we are meditating, and how does it lead to a purification of a higher understanding, right? Because people are observed in the matter, so how they go beyond that step.
Because my question is coming from by, like, as we are seeing in the society, I'm already absorbed in my body, so it's kind of a meditation on my own body, or like, you know, in the beginning of marriage or before marriage, we are like meditating on husband and wife or boyfriend, girlfriend. So I was trying to connect and see in terms of that, trying to understand.
Of course, there is one chapter of answer first by Sukadeva Goswami, and whatever I understood is, so we have to understand this matter, whatever we are seeing, this body, our beautiful nature, our wonderful nature, our discovery, so many things, right? We have to see that as a part of the universal form. That is, it's not just focusing on just the beauty. So we, the meditation should be is part of the universal form, and considering universal form itself as a representation of the God or God. Because for materialists, scientists, there is no God, but they can consider, wow, there is such a power in the matter.
Something is beyond.
So for the matter itself is ultimate. So they consider, yes, matter is powerful and it's part of the universal form, right? So with that, that is the meditation. So this matter, whatever you are seeing, is part of a big picture of universal form, right? So that is the meditation.
So probably there has to be a tiny bit of that humility, that there is something beyond, something greater, and in that mood, if we meditate, probably we'll try to understand what is behind in that sense.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but I think for everything we need a right teacher, and I don't know nowadays who is the authorized teacher who practices meditation on universal form. So I'm not sure. For us now, we have an authorized bona fide form of chanting and meditating on the holy name of the Lord. So that is that will take us much further, right? So the details I'm not sure how exactly it is done, but some idea is given in the Bhagavatam.
It helps.
Some idea is given in Bhagavatam. That means there is a process like this existing.
Right.
So I'm not sure who is actually doing this, practicing it. And
I'm actually connecting to Ishopanishad study. We were doing two things very strongly coming. This one may be similar to that Sankhya Yoga, the material 24 elements, and trying to dissect and understand through that. I think it's in connection with that. The other point I really liked it is, as you were saying, how we are different, spirit and body is different, but Krishna is not like that. We were reading this quality of Akaya, Lord as seen by Mahabhagavat. It's very clear to see that connection.
Here the word is Arupa.
Arupa.
Arupa means that's it. For Mayavadis, they say, yes,
we are right. We are.
This is what we have been saying all the while. You guys are not listening. That's
no material form, no material qualities.
There is no material form. It's a spiritual form, right? So
Okay, now my second question about the
because just above it says Etad Rupam, right? Whatever Rupas which I have explained before, all the 22 incarnations, Bhagavato is actually Arupa, material, there no material form, it's a spiritual form in that sense.
Yeah, my next question is on the blueprint you were explaining. Brahma came and nothing was there. He is asked to meditate on the universal form. You explained like it was not there, but it's kind of a blueprint. So Krishna gave that form, like showed that form to Brahma and asked him to meditate?
Yeah, it's in the sense, before actually building, it's a subtlety of the thing actually. Blueprint is actually as good as a building. It's just a subtle form of a building.
Right. So Krishna gave that blueprint to Brahma and asked him to meditate?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, otherwise, who knows? Because Krishna is in the form of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, and Mahavishnu. They are the ones who start generating all these universes, and each universe then
so that happened later, right? That happened after Brahma?
No. After universes, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu enters. Then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Brahma comes from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's lotus.
Yes, even before that, because even the matter to do any job, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu has to be there because he has to enter into all the atoms, right? And with all the souls, he will be as a. They are not in manifested form; they are in a Mahatattva or whatever, Pradhan form. They are not separated yet.
Okay.
So that's what separation is done by Brahma.
Oh,
okay.
So that's what you meant by like all the elements and everything.
Everything is there. That original creation is by the Lord only. In fact, Lord himself creates Brahma, the chief engineer of the universe. So then chief engineer is confused what to do because engineer, as long without his plan, what he will do? He has to come up with a plan, right, to make. So in that
the
sense,
planets, living entities, demigods, all the souls and all of them are already there.
Yes. Yes. And in fact, when he glances at it, that's when that separation happens and Brahma takes birth and whatever things. So, right? Yeah, it is technical, but Bhagavatam explains. So, in fact, third canto also, it is there. Third canto also, creation is there. And there, same problem. Brahma creates all the demigods, and demigods don't know what to do. So then all of them go to again Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, they pray. Like before 10th canto, before Krishna appears, right? Demigods pray, right? For the Krishna to appear. Similarly here they pray that we don't know what to do. Then again the same instruction whatever Krishna gave to Brahma, that meditate on universal form, he gave the same instructions to demigods. Please meditate on the universal form. You will know all your functions. Because so because demigods like Varuna, he doesn't know what to do. So go and check universal form where you fit and what is that doing. You do exactly like that.
It's like education.
Yeah. So that's what my understanding is.
The art chart
That's
right?
As responsibilities.
Yeah. But in a sense, actually, blueprint, I was more and more when I think about it, I am getting more and more
excited.
Like blueprint in a subtle form actually, right? So mind, the way we think in the mind, that's what we do actually. The body ultimately does the same thing. That is why what we think is very important, right? Our thoughts, our idea about ourselves, our image, that's what we eventually try to become, right? So the thoughts and all this, they are in the subtle body as a subtle matter. So the blueprint, whenever a person comes to see, they'll see the building, wow, that's very good building. But actually, the entire building is in a way, subtle form is already there in the plan blueprint, right? So the universal form is like the blueprint also. So the universe is also universal form. The actual building is also universal building, and the blueprint also is a building in that sense. But it's just a subtle form, right? That's my understanding. So and Another point which I forgot, we have 5 more minutes, is the present forms of the conditioned souls are also not factual. That is, our bodies are not factual. The conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord, which is Vrndavana, is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living beings are living spirits and have original spiritual bodies. So, in fact, I was hearing another lecture where it was said, we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience. Not that we are human beings having spiritual experience. Because the spirituality is more reality. So that is why we are actually spiritual beings having this human experience in this life. We may be having animal experience in another life, but nonetheless we are spirits. But usually the concept is, I am a human being, I want to have a spiritual experience.
Bodily concept.
Right? So that Prabhupada is breaking down that concept here. Right? Both the Lord and the living beings are living spirits. They are actually the spirits and having original spiritual bodies. We have spiritual bodies. Krishna has spiritual body, we have spiritual bodies. But we are caught into this material body and we are thinking these bodies are we. So that is not factual. That's what it is. And in that sense, this body is also imaginary because after some time this body won't be there. Right? But it is real. We are imagining that I am this person. That is the imaginary part. But this body is changing. Right? In fact, it is said it changes every time it is changing. Body is never the same. That's one idea. Another idea is please share with us anything if you can.
Okay, we can.
Thank you very much for coming. Srila Prabhupada. Jai.